Quiet on set.
Rolling. Action. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back one more time to And Cut.
I'm Caitlin.
And I'm Sebastian.
And today we are going to do another movie review for you guys. And this time it is for Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
Such a good movie. Oh my goodness. It just felt right.
Ride, that's for sure. So I don't think Chippendale was in theaters.
No, it was not.
Okay, so then it's only on Disney Plus. So if
It's
you
your
haven't
classic
seen it, watch
release
it.
right to DVD. But
It's
now...
like released right to Disney Plus instead. Yeah, I had no idea this movie was even coming out. I don't know if any of you guys felt that way as well, but I had never heard of it.
I just knew of it the moment I saw it on Disney Plus, and I was like, yep. And I started seeing on TikTok, like it got pretty viral.
Oh, really? I mean, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
We'll tell you why. So it was directed by Akiva Schaffer and written by Dan Greger and Doug Mand. It was Dale was voiced by Andy Samberg. Chip was voiced by John Mulaney. Kiki Lane was Ellie, one of the only human characters I think we had.
Well, we saw a lot of human people, but they didn't really have speaking roles and whatnot.
Yeah. A lot of it was cartoon based, obviously. Will Arnett played Sweet Pete, aka Peter Pan.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have Eric Bana, who voiced Monterey Jack, who's one of like the
From the
original
OG.
Rescue Rangers. I don't know if this is the voice that initially voiced him, but we have Dennis Haysbert as Zipper, Keegan-Michael Key as a frog coworker. Tress MacNeille plays a high-pitched version of Chip. I'm going off of IMDb. Tim Robinson plays Ugly Sonic. You heard that right. Ugly Sonic is in this movie. I love it. Seth Rogen plays Bob the Warrior Viking.
Blech.
J.K. Simmons is Captain Putty, a.k.a. our police sergeant. Jimmy the Polar Bear is voiced by Devon McDonald. I'm trying to think of what else.
I think that's good.
Yeah. A lot of names that we know, some that we don't know.
So just to explain a little bit what this movie is all about. So if you remember Who Framed Roger Rabbit, it's pretty much that thing of cartoon characters are actual like living beings and they just live in the normal world with us and they're just actors that act for these different movies that we see in cartoons. So Chip and Dale is pretty much going on to the same route as Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and it's almost like it's the same universe.
I think so, yeah.
A full-on homage to Who Framed Roger Rabbit, to the point that Roger Rabbit is actually in this movie for a brief second.
As a side character, for sure, but he's
there for like
it.
literally 2 frames. And it has like one line or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's definitely showing that it's a complete homage of that movie, and it's the same concept of all of these cartoon characters are just actors, just as anybody else.
So yeah, it gives you this biography history of the relationship Chip and Dale have had with each other. They were best friends. They went to the same school, and I think
that's how they became
moved
friends.
in like 4th grade is when Dale moved in, I think. They became best friends. They started going into acting, had a TV show together.
They studied in theater.
Yeah, and then we find out at the very beginning of the movie that Dale was offered a 007 inspired movie deal. So he backed out of the show.
Double O Dale.
Yeah. And Chip and Dale did not speak to each other after this. Chip considering it to be like a really big betrayal. Chip, I think, went on to work in just like an office 9 to 5.
Yep, we saw that at the beginning
insurance
of the show.
Thing, I think, too. And then Dale is going to these conventions trying to get people to...
He still thinks he's famous.
To see him. Like, he thinks he's still famous, even though the show was back in the 90s, and presumably we're in the present day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, people are saying to him, though, that people aren't going to come up to you if you don't have Chip with you. And Dale's like, oh, I guess, but I don't know. We don't speak to each other. So there's clearly some beef. But
one of the things that we see right off the bat when we're in the present day is that Dale actually got a surgery.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Such as, like people get
CGI surgery, like plastic surgery.
It's like plastic surgery to look CGI. And he was like, oh, you're just jealous because I look CGI and you don't.
Yeah, it's very interesting seeing the two animation styles partnering up with each other, because Dale's still in like that 2D world and he's now in like a 3D world now. But it's a funny thing that they bring up quite a bit. But yeah, so they both end up seeing each other again because their friend Monterey Jack seems to have gotten into some money troubles and borrowed from the wrong people. It's
pretty much drugs. He got into drugs. But in the show, it's cheese.
It's cheese.
Yes.
But it's a movie, by the way, not a show. And so then, I'm trying to remember, he gets kidnapped. And
because he didn't pay for the cheese.
Yes. And now Chip and Dale are like, ugh, we have to work together. Because Captain Putty, the chief of police, clearly doesn't know what he's doing enough to really be able to solve it. They know it's a gang. I forget what they called the gang of people. Maybe they know it's Sweet Pea. I'd honestly forget.
Is that kind of scenario that they know who it is, but they don't know how to find them and don't know how to frame them?
Yeah, because they don't have enough evidence that it's really him behind it. So Chip and Dale team up with Ellie, who works at the police station as kind of like a detective, but not enough authority on her own to really do anything about the situation. She just sort of like helps them out as their human partner in crime. So they try to solve the mystery, and they know automatically probably who took him was Sweet Pete and his gang. So they try to infiltrate, and that's when they find out that Sweet Pete has been running this operation where he'll kidnap a former star and bootleg them. Do you want to explain what bootlegging is?
Sure. So in the real world, bootlegging is like sometimes just finding out where to watch these different shows and movies illegally without actually paying for whatever subscription they're on. But sometimes bootlegging is making a really bad copy of a show or a movie. AKA, like instead of being, let's say, The Lion King, it's The Lion Queen, for example.
Yeah, or something
the Tiger
like that.
Queen. So it's just like making a similar story, similar characters, but just making them look different. So that's what he's doing. He's actually grabbing the original characters and making bootlegs of them, aka surgically removing pieces of their body and adding new pieces of their body, changing the style of animation, changing how they look, and then making different movies with them that are complete bootlegs. So
and they gave the example of Flounder from The Little Mermaid.
Oh yeah.
I was so sad seeing that little fish
with a huge nose.
With a huge nose and everything. But yeah, so they discovered that that's definitely what happened to Monterey Jack, and he's gonna get bootlegged soon, so they had to find him. So they do everything they can to track down Sweet Pete through a series of mishaps, all while they sort of start to realize that they can become friends again, or they at least missed each other enough that they want to try to become friends again. They even sort of reconcile their differences when he says, when they like open up to each other for the first time about how they feel about each other. Not in that way, but how they feel is like how one treated the other, if they felt like one was more important than the other. Than
like
they
when
felt
Dale, when Dale told Chip that he was going to do Double O Dale, and Dale was actually expecting Chip to be like, no, I need you in this show because of the two of us, not only me. And that didn't happen, so he went on with Double O Dale. And
it seemed like Dale like felt like Chip was like the front runner.
Betrayal.
And wanted that as well. It's hard when it's a duo, but they seem to come to terms with it. And then they find Sweet Pete's lair, the bootlegging machine. Chip actually gets caught in this machine and ends up with what I assume to be like
a dog ear.
Like yeah. Because the machine was like
ear.
Very close to ruining his entire body, but he just ended up with a weird ear. And so that's when through another series of mishaps, that's when they find out, because we originally think that Ellie is working with Sweet Pea, because we know
it's really confusing at points.
Yes. We know that the police, that someone in the police is leaking information, because how in the world would Sweet Pea know where they were at that point? So at first, when I was watching it, I thought it was Ellie, just because she randomly mentioned that her mom or grandmother recorded the tapes, even though it wasn't ever aired where the grandma was living, and so kind of suspicious.
No, it was the other way around. It was never aired where she was living, but she was like a huge fan, and they were like, "How are you a huge fan if you didn't see the show because it doesn't air where you live?" And she was like, "My grandma used to tape them for me and send them to me." Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, so they were a little bit suspicious. But she actually was a good guy, like completely innocent. It was Captain Putty, who was working with Sweet Pea, and helping with the bootlegging system. Hence why nothing was being done, because it was a corrupt policeman. So they end up, again, through a series of mishaps, taking down Putty, taking down Sweet Pea. Sweet Pea actually ended up getting like caught in the bootlegging machine and becomes this cat warrior is the best way I think I can describe it.
It's like the final boss of a video game, pretty much.
Exactly. But they end up taking them down. Like I said, there's cameos of a lot of other characters. Ugly Sonic, I think, is the one that I remember the most, just because
it's the most cool one.
It's horrifying because he has like a beer gut and full-on teeth, and I'm just.
One of the interesting things about this is that whenever the directors act about Ugly Sonic, he says that all of the questions he's gonna leave for the lawyer to answer, because they have to always talk about Sonic as Ugly Sonic. Otherwise, they will get in trouble with Sega.
Yeah,
and they will get copyrighted and whatnot. But that's why they always refer to Sonic as Ugly Sonic. And actually, in theory, based on what they say in the movie, Ugly Sonic and Sonic are completely different people, and Ugly Sonic is like the one that almost got the role.
The ugly twin, kind of. Yeah. It's kind of funny if you think about it, because the way I just thought of it is like Ugly Sonic is almost like a bootleg version of Sonic.
Well, it's like casting, and he didn't get the job.
It's still just really funny. Yeah, so now let's go on to some reviews.
Dun, dun,
so
dun.
First off, I always go to Roger Ebert. He gave 2.5 stars.
Oh, come on.
Let me see what he says.
Right off the bat, I think that's wrong.
Why?
I don't know. 2.5? Come on. 2.5 out of how many? 3?
5.
I know. It's a joke.
I didn't get the joke. But the execution of all this, the best way to keep us engaged with story, is lacking. Even when cinematographer Larry Fong gives us the progressively kooky events, a couple explosive action sequences. When there's a joke about a third act twist thing being cliche, it's more like trying to cover the tracks. It doesn't help that the jokes are not related to current properties, just aren't funny or memorable. Dance & Company tried something similar to this a few years ago. This movie isn't that bad, which is a plus. It's also better than the Alvin and Chipmunks films, but it's still stuck in the usual spot, animated movie spot of trying to make something for kids with some irreverent references and deep cuts for the adults. Take away the cameos in the recording booth and animate it on screen, and you get something that's a little too close to the same old junk.
I think that what he's going for is that they didn't try to actually target anybody, and then they just try to target every single person. But I think they did it. As many references
as physically possible, because they even reference like Star Wars and Beauty and the Beast.
I don't think a really young kid will enjoy it as much as a teenager or so. But I think both adults and kids can actually enjoy this movie with no problem.
I thought it would have been fun as a kid, I think, watching this, because you and I weren't alive when the original show came out. I was in like the early 90s, I think. And we're 2000s babies, so.
But I mean, going back to Who Framed Roger Rabbit and some of the Looney Tunes movies, they do the same thing as like the characters being cartoonish with the real world. And I've always enjoyed those movies, and I think this is just the blast that everyone can enjoy.
I really enjoyed it, and I've also haven't like seen much of Chip and Dale. I never had a connection with them. Yeah. I for some reason thought there was a part of like Snow White storyline.
Oh, come on.
Just because there was no other chipmunk I could reference. And they even actually reference Alvin and the Chipmunks in this movie, which I thought was really funny. As like they want to be better than them or something.
I just want to say that the movie was an hour in, and we were just having so much fun watching it that it felt like it was like 20 minutes in.
It's clearly a kid's movie, but the references were just like really great to me. So
many of them were like, if you know, you know.
Exactly. And if you don't, you don't. Next I have a site called culturevultures.com. It says in the title, "Glorious Meta Goodness" is what it says. If you're a big animation fan, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers is probably the most fun you'll have watching a movie all year. Of course, since it went straight to streaming, you'll most likely be watching it in your living room couch instead of a cinema seat. But that won't matter. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers is going to put a gigantic smile on your face throughout. While the movie makes plenty of references to the original Rescue Rangers show, the two have almost nothing in common tonally. The show is a very kid-friendly adventure show, while the movie is a buddy action comedy film filled with pop culture references. It's not what you would expect from a Chip and Dale reboot, but in many ways it's even better. Disney could have easily played it safe with a fun but forgettable adventure film, something like The Rescuers, but instead they decided to take a risk, and it's a risk that pays off well. I really like that, yeah.
It almost feels like it's a successful fan service.
What do you mean?
Like they did it for the fans, and they just tried to give us something that they knew we wanted, but we didn't know we needed.
This is a new hires idea. I don't think this came from somebody that's been working there for like 30 plus years. This is somebody that was like, I have a perfect idea to tie all of this together. But yeah, no, I agree. I really think it pays off. I've never seen The Rescuers, so I don't know how much of a dig that really was, but
I mean, it's not like they went too deep into the Rescue Rangers, the original show. Obviously, there's like the collection that Dale has and whatnot, but it's not like...
And you see the original cast of it as well.
Yeah, but it's not like you have to have seen the Rescue Rangers to know what's going on.
It's pretty easy, honestly.
Pretty straightforward.
So the last one that I have is from loudandclearreviews.com, and it also has a very meta comeback. He gives it 4 stars out of 5.
Nice.
Even as the fan of the original Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers animated series, I wasn't so sure how this film based on it would turn out. When this adaptation was unveiled, my excitement was replaced with confusion because of the fact that John Mulaney and Andy Samberg would star as the voices of the titular pair. Though I think both actors are funny, films with celebrities voicing beloved animated characters don't exactly have the best track record. Looking at you, 2011's The Smurfs. Smurfs. Time passed, and I basically forgot about it until the trailer dropped. That trailer was pretty decent and immediately gave me Who Framed Roger Rabbit vibes, like you said.
Yeah.
And no, this wasn't just because Roger himself made an appearance in it. 2022's Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers actually looked good to me, even with Mulaney and Samberg using their regular voices to voice Chip and Dale. The movie sounded cool and way too good to be true, and I figured the rug would be swept out from under me at any moment once it released on Disney+. I mean, just think about the concept of chipmunks being former actors on the successful Chip and Dale cartoon and living in a fictional world filled with humans and cartoons and thus experiencing why they speak normally. There's no way that there isn't a catch, right? Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers is actually really good. However, it's also very meta in a way that some may not be too comfortable with. So he goes on to give a synopsis. The film is very meta. It contains plenty of cameos and references throughout its 98-minute runtime. The cameos references aren't just from properties owned by Disney either, much like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which famously featured a scene with Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse interacting. You never know who will show up or be referenced in Rescue Rangers. You'll see Chip and Dale not only interact with human characters like Detective Ellie Steckler. I'm sorry, I'm reading. Throughout the narrative, Chip and Dale will interact with various types of characters, and that believability never really goes away. A lot of kudos must be given to the animators and those working behind the scenes to put this film together. Speaking of the narrative, it's very fast-paced and doesn't drag out all. The story seems like a big episode of the original Chip and Dale. It gets digging into the mystery right down to the way things wrap up really quickly at the end. Most of the comedy comes from the meta nature of this Rescue Rangers film, but it also uses any cameos in an effective and hilarious way. Even the smallest of cameos throughout were able to elicit a chuckle or at least a reaction.
Nice. A couple of things on the voice acting that I think are really interesting. The first one, so in Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, the show, they actually have this really high-pitched voices that is like, and they actually talk about it being like that's just a fake voice that they use for the show, but they have a different voice in real life, obviously. And it's like sometimes they just practice their high-pitched voice and whatnot, so it's like that's how they try to explain the difference between the voices, because it might have become a little bit annoying if you just have those voices throughout the entire movie trying to make it a little bit more serious. Now, when John Mulaney is in this movie, I cannot stop just picturing John Mulaney actually saying these words
like him at the microphone.
It's such a voice. Like,
it's
you
an
know
iconic
it's him.
voice. Yeah.
It's like The Rock. You know who it is.
Yeah.
So you can picture them saying these
Mm-hmm.
things, and that's something that is constant throughout the movie.
Yeah.
So if you like John Mulaney, you're gonna love this movie. If you hate John Mulaney, you're gonna hate this movie.
Well, isn't it kind of like how you don't like Seth Rogen's laugh?
Oh my goodness.
But then whenever you hear it, you're just like, ah! That's
Something
definitely
like
not how it is.
I don't know.
Even
It's
worse
really
than
annoying.
that.
It's really annoying. Seth Rogen. Oh my goodness. My boy, you're probably funny, but I don't get it.
You're probably funny.
Never seen any of your movies. I'm so sorry. If we work in the future,
You definitely have seen some of his movies. You're lying.
If we work together in the future, just don't laugh.
Just don't laugh ever in front of me or
Yeah.
around me at any time.
If I hear you, my goodness. Anyways, deviating. Yes, that's my point.
So, what do you think? What would you give it out of 5?
I think out of 5 clapping boards, I am gonna give it a 5 out of 5 clapping
Why?
boards. I was thinking 4, but then I was thinking, what do I not like from it? I think I enjoyed every single second of this movie. I will rewatch it again. I will rewatch it multiple times. And just based on that fact, because I don't rewatch any, like most movies I don't rewatch, and I hate
rewatching anything.
I think just that alone makes me think that I can give it a 5 out of 5.
Also, too, like, there's so much happening on each frame, especially in those scenes when Dale's trying to, like, get the people's attention at the convention. There's so many things happening, so many people walking around. You can spot so many characters that you know. I think that's really fun for me.
So rewatching it, you can actually find different stuff.
Exactly. I want to rewatch it just for that purpose alone. But yeah, I'd give it 5 out of 5. I was just laughing. I didn't take the plot too seriously at all. I thought of it as, like, the plot was not the main point of watching it. It was seeing I was seeing Ugly Sonic, I think, was one of my main interests. But just seeing everybody all together also was very fun.
You went in there, like, pretty much blind.
Well, yeah, because you were like, do you want to watch this movie? Yeah. And I was like, I guess. And you just press play immediately.
Now, on that note, just a little bit on the sideline. This movie makes me really excited for the new Kung Fu Panda. I don't remember if it's a show or a movie that's coming to Netflix with Jack Black as Po.
Why?
It just makes me really excited because it's like my dude. I like him.
Your dude.
Period.
I don't remember Jack Black being in this movie, though.
I know.
You just wanted to mention that randomly in there? Okay.
And it is also interesting because we just watched another movie with Jack Black in it.
Oh, yeah, we watched Anchorman for the first time. Yeah.
Anyways. Do you have anything else that you want to add?
No, it was just such a fun time. If you're gonna really dig into the plot, that's not the point of watching it.
But if you do, that's actually, there's nothing bad in it.
There's nothing bad about it. I'm just saying, like,
because it's still interesting.
Like, the plot, you can sort of see a little bit of it coming, but a little bit.
Like, you know what's gonna happen at the end, but for example, you don't really know who the bad guy is.
I just appreciate the animation, all the different styles of animation that happen. I can't even imagine how long this movie took to film and make and everything, because they not only had to do the animation for each of the characters in different animation styles, and you had to have the humans interact with them at the exact same time. Oh, that would hurt my brain, but I love it.
I would say definitely watch it.
Give those animators some more money.
What are you waiting for? Just go and watch it. There's no... You're not gonna go wrong with this movie.
Of course.
Period. Anyways, I think that was it from us. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you again either later this week or next week. I don't. At this point, I still don't know.
You'll see us when you see us.
You'll see us when you see us sometime soon. Maybe not. Thank you so much. And cut.